believe overall, every show grabs a pretty good constituency. And what we find is whiskey drinkers are not one single category. It's not the bikers, it's not the lawyers. It's everywhere. And so you find people from all walks of life who enjoy the whiskeys, who can appreciate the flavors. So,
AKA anyone who had a shitty day at work and just wants to decompress afterwards.
yeah.
We can all find assimilation in that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's pretty neat then. So it does kind of give me a little bit of insight that the market is obviously, the San Francisco thing kind of blows my mind still, like it being the cocktail capital of America, highest per capita and whiskey drinking. And then you're right outside of wine country right there. And then you have some of the biggest names in, in brewers like Russian, whatever, Valley Brewing or whatever, the Pliny folks and Anchor Steams and all the other ones. So it seems like San Francisco it's a great hotbed for y'all to kind of be based out of. But you also have some pretty big cities that are going around, like you mentioned, the DCs, and then you have New York and stuff in the fall. So I was curious to see if like one of those tickets was like the sold out like 15 minutes and they were sold out. I wasn't sure if any of those.
Oh, yeah. Chicago, New York, Boston, those do go quick. Those are easy markets. San Francisco's, we probably have the most people traveling from other places.
Wow.
San Francisco.
Nice. Okay. So let's get, I'm going to circle back because I'm a great journalist. We're talking about the biggest venues or ones that sell out quickly. What can we expect for, let's say, like those that bought the VIP tickets? What do we expect when we come into this event? We'll be given a cup and then they're just like free reign, eat your snacks and or sniff your whiskey as you please.
Well, let's be clear. You're given a glass. We don't pick whiskey out of plastic or cups.
Sorry, it's verbiage. Like the verbiage, semantics. That's semantics.
It's properly designed to deliver those aromas to your nose. You have the most full experience.
It's the ones that kind of look like it's shaped like a reverse light bulb. It's kind of got a little bulb at the bottom and then nose.
The Glencairn glass. That's a very good glass. We like to move around and use different glasses, different places. So people can experience different styles of glasses. And so we haven't necessarily picked one official glass.
Neat.
We try to move it around. And it's fun to collect your glasses, whiskeys of the world, and have a year on it. And each year might look different. And to me, that's just a little more interesting. But then it's also fun to take these glasses home and experiment with your own whiskeys. You put the same amount of whiskey in each glass, you smell it and see how it works. And you probably find out some glasses work better than others. And then you're also going to find out some whiskeys work better in different glasses. So,
yeah, like because you mentioned, they accentuate different, scents and flavors that kind of come out of each glass. So let's say that, and I'm just using the generic Weller, like the black label that sits on, you see it almost every grocery or liquor store you go into. Will it hit different a little bit if you were drinking it out of that first glass you mentioned and then the one like in Chicago that may have a different one? Will it actually like taste differently or smell differently? Or does it just like bring out the aroma more intensified?
So, right. So when you're drinking the product, right, your nose is picking up the aromas at the same time. So that's how it affects the taste. Remember when you had to eat spinach or stuff as a kid, you hold your nose. You do an experiment. Hold your nose when you're drinking wine or whiskey and drink it. It'll taste different. It won't taste as full because you're not getting all of that. So yes, the shape does matter. The amount of whiskey in the glass matters. And, sometimes because the quarter ounce pours, I use a different type of glass because the shape, the size of it is going to be better for that quarter ounce pour. The Glencairn glass is excellent. If you have at least a half ounce or more whiskey in that glass.
Okay.
And so, there will be differences. That's a fun experiment. There are minute differences, but it's another type of exercise I might have someplace where I put the same whiskey in a bunch of different glasses and ask people which one that looks better. It's all the same whiskey. You're kidding me.
I like it. Okay, so I'll get back on topic. I told you I go on tangents all the time. So glasses was just the first. So after we get the glass of y'all's choosing when we walk in, what should we expect? What's the game plan for that? Obviously, you mentioned, pace yourself and take your time going through and don't drink too much. But give us a little bit of lay of the land, how we should navigate I guess, the room?
Well, so one thing is that you can download our app, our mobile event program, and then you can click on their VIP pours. You can see which all tables have the VIP pours, or you will get an event program when you enter, and that all will list that too. So you might want to hit up the VIPs first because there's only so much, and those can run out first. So you check out the VIP, the limited pours. You go there first. There will be food available, but I would eat before you show up because
you don't want to drink on an empty stomach.
You don't. You don't want to drink on an empty stomach. You don't want to be waiting in line for food. You want to go to food when it's convenient. You want to pick up we very carefully select items, for the menu that'll be enjoyable. But we want you to eat those, on a casual basis, have a drink. So yeah, it's best to eat before you show up. It'll make your experience better. And then you can enjoy the food there. Because if you're really hungry, anything tastes good. You'd rather enjoy the food, for the quality, because, as you know, the hotel is very fond and proud of what they serve.
Okay, yeah, so get my Taco Bell before I get there. Perfect. Yeah, awesome. Okay, and so for obviously the VIP, you'll be able, like he had said, like Doug said, to clip those before they sell out or before they run out and things of that nature. But for our GA fans, for those that are curious, you can still get tickets. Whiskiesoftheworld.com. That's WHISKIES. Oftheworld.com. Click Denver. You can buy tickets. It's not straightforward. It's not difficult. So for our GA folks, give us some tips, lay of the land. Will there be a line? Do we need to get there early? What's the expectation for crowd turnout? Things of that nature, so we can plan accordingly over the next 4 days for Friday night.
So even the GA people can possibly hit up the VIP tables. They might have brought 2 bottles. They might still be there. I can't tell you. I don't know for sure. We do our best to check people in before their entry time. So when the entry time hits, they're checked in, ready to go. They can get their full 2.5 hours or 3.5 hours of tasting. And so show up early, get registered, and then have your look through the event program, or if you download the app ahead of time, and that'll be sent out to everyone who buys tickets. You can pre-plan what you want. You can see, wow, I want to try this. You look at hey, I've never had this before. And part of it is, focus on what you haven't had before. Expand your knowledge, your palate. And we want you to make relationships with the distillers, the people there. I mean, they are excited to share their product with you and make a personal connection.
I like it. And so do you have any other tips that we should probably look into for, maximizing our experience? I mean, obviously I'm going to try to take as much knowledge in as possible. I'll obviously be working in the event and interviewing folks, but I'm there kind of to learn, because I do feel like I am a novice when it comes to even this conversation.
You bring that up. So actually we have an author, a personal friend of mine, an author, Robin Robinson, who wrote a book, is a 101 whiskey course, which he'll be there selling the books and also signing them. And he's a very interesting individual, great storyteller, and the book is very easy to read. If you want to learn whiskey, his book would be a great way to start. But of course, you don't want to read it while you're there. But I buy the book. I talk to Robin. Robin's also giving a master class, a 101 whiskey, or the history of whiskey. So we have master classes you can sign up for. We also have an American single malt master class, where you'll have Strand of Hands and Deer Hammer and older spirits, among a few others. Will be there talking about what is American single malt. Is this just America's answer to Scotch single malt, or is it something completely different? And so it's a very fascinating category. It's quickly growing. And one of the interesting things at the competition, our spirits competition in Texas last year, is comments from all the judges was, wow, the American single malt, these are actually valid alternatives to Scotch. And they were so impressed with what's coming out of the American distilleries now. So that was kind of fun.
I love it. I love it. So I'm getting pretty fired up. You had mentioned when we started this, I don't even know if I was recording at that time, but before we get out of here, what are you sipping on today for lunch whiskey?
Oh, probably a little Sagamore spirits, or I might pull some Breckenridge PX cask. I like their sherry or PX finished cask. It depends on what I got to go through my cabinet and see what's down to the bottom. So it doesn't get too aerated and drink it before it goes bad. It's like keeping your.
Does whiskey go bad? Like I understand I collect wine and drink that fairly regularly, but like my buddy that drinks the whiskey, he's able to open a bottle and then it's obviously able to sit on the shelf, so he doesn't have to. Like when I pop a bottle open, I honestly could technically save some of it. It'll be compromised a little bit with air and things like that, oxidizing. Is whiskey the same way? Y'all have a shelf life on those things after you open them?
So it will go flat long enough time, depending on how solid the cork is or how tight it is. And especially when you're down to a quarter of the bottle left. It goes flat because the alcohol will evaporate. So it will get lighter. So yeah, the idea is, your half bottle or more, it's going to have a very long shelf life. Alcohol is, because of the high content, 40%, it is very stable. But it goes, the ethanol evaporates and it kind of ruins. You'll still get the flavor, but there's something about the bite of the alcohol that really, sets it, that makes it the drink it is. So yeah, when you get down to a quarter bottle, you got to finish it with your friends.
That sounds like all right.
By yourself, but I say with your friends because to me, whiskey is a social drink. It's something. It's like the flavor is so wonderful. It's like you got to share it with somebody.
I love it, and that's for Sam, who I know is listening to this, and Brian, I know you're listening. Thank y'all for the support. Did you hear that? If we get down to a quarter bottle, we might as well just drink it right then and there. So it sounds like I'm going over to their house tonight. Okay, before we leave here tonight, Doug, I do appreciate you joining us on the podcast today. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me. I would be remiss if I did not ask you to play around the fuck, marry, kill with me real quick. I'm going to name 3 big name bottles. Obviously, most of the guys in the world know these names are those that have any affinity for whiskey. But we're going to say Pappy. I'm going to say Eagle Rare. And obviously, I'm not going to put a year on it. I'll let you do that. And then the third one is just going to be a classic Crown Royal and Canadian whiskey. So give me a fuck, marry, kill of Buffalo Traces. I guess we'll say Buffalo Trace, Eagle Rare, and Crown Royal for our fans at home.
So I'm sorry, just a fuck, marry for Buffalo Trace. I'm a little bit confused on what the.
Wait, does Buffalo Trace not own Pappy? Is that the same entity? Okay, so I guess I was generalizing. I apologize. So yeah, fuck one, marry one, kill one. We'll do Eagle Rare, Crown Royal, and just your basic Buffalo Trace.
I get it. Okay, so what were the 3 choices? What was fuck and marry and kill?
Yeah, so you keep one in each category. Which one would you kill? Which one would you marry? And which one would you have sex with?
Oh, okay. Oh. It's a game.
Yeah, that's a fun game.
Okay. So, and the 3 choices you started with right now,
you just want to kill them all.
It's a little bit of a predicament.
We asked the hard-hitting questions. Some people called me the Barbara Walters in my time.
Okay, so the choices was you're giving me Eagle Rare, Crown Royal, and the Pappies, was it?
Oh yeah, we'll say Pappy. I think those are pretty generic names, and I know that those sit on a lot of shelves, so we'll use those 3.
So. It depends on the time of day, I guess. I would kill one in the morning and fuck the other one in the morning and 86 the one, and then a lunchtime it's going to be a whole different choice. So they're all going to have their time with me. Okay, because
that's not an answer we hear a lot. That you'll just fuck them all, kill them all.
Crown Royal gets criticized a bit. It's got its place, and they have a lot of different expressions and style, and you can't just put it in one category. And the smooth whiskey, and of course, your and the Pappy. Well, the Pappy is going to be a wheated bourbon. It's got its place when you're right time of day, depending on your palate.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. So our friend Brian McClintock, he runs Vita Cole Wine out of not far from you. He's up in Northern California. Y'all have a very much a similar mindset. And I think a lot of folks that are, highly in tune with their craft, such as you and such as he are, and Bobby Stuckey, a gentleman from Colorado, y'all very much are in the